Bowl 59, Chiefs versus Eagles. Of course, a rematch of Super Bowl 57. And if you remember that game, Jalen Hurts had a great performance. Now, he also had a great performance in Sunday's NFC Championship game. But after the game, he seemingly called out his own coaching staff. Let's listen to that and Nick Sirianni's response today.
He's done a great job. He's done a great job. I guess he let me on my straitjacket a little bit today.
Yeah, I think he was having fun after the game. We've been winning a couple different ways this year. I think he's just having fun after the game. But I know this, and he said this plenty of times. He don't care how we win. I don't care how we win, as long as we win, and we do everything we can do to be able to win. And as we've talked a lot, there's been different circumstances of how games have went and where we've been at and late in games. But we found a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, winning should be what matters the most, but still. All right, Jalen Hurts did look like he had a lot going on offensively on Sunday.
Yeah.
Got it going there. What worked so well in the passing game?
I think it's what we talked about on this show was the fact that they tried to commit to stopping the run at times, and a lot of times they're going to be playing man-to-man against two #1 wide receivers, both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So here, you're going to see a tape. They're going to be play action here to Saquon. There's already 7 guys in the box. That top corner is also going to join in. Now you're 8. So now you have a free release out route against Marshawn Lattimore, who's butted to the sideline, and he's literally away from where I'm going. That is pitch and catch, and it makes it easy for Jalen Hurts to see clear pitchers. Next is going to be blitz, cover 0, Devontae Smith at number 3. All Jalen Hurts has to do is buy a little time and put it in this vacant area in the corner, an opportunity for 7 points. The idea that any DB is going to be able to stop A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith one-on-one with Saquon playing the way that he is, it's a far cry. It doesn't matter how Jalen Hurts is playing or what the scheme is. Those are very easy throws and pitch and catches for them.
The timing was so much better in their passing game this past weekend. And the question you have to ask yourself is why? I think, number one, it was obvious that they were in one-on-one situations. Yep. So as the quarterback, he follows, and the swipe at the line of scrimmage by A.J. Brown, and when he makes the decision to throw, A.J. clearly is on top. Man-to-man coverage, quick little out route. The timing of this is the most important, but also A.J. setting him. But that was clarity for Jalen Hurts. Again, this is not as a quarterback getting to the line of scrimmage trying to figure out the coverage. I'm one-on-one on the perimeter. This is what we call ROA, routes on air. A.J., go win. And our comparison to the Green Bay game is Washington made it very clear what the coverage was. Green Bay and the Rams made it very cloudy what the coverage was. What I would anticipate Kansas City to do is make it very cloudy what the coverage is going to be.
I was going to say they also have better cornerbacks.
Kansas City.
Yes.
Very much so.
Than the Washington Commanders. And to your point, whenever you have a one-on-one coverage against these receivers, it is like routes on air. You see his timing. He's hitting his back foot, and that ball's coming out because he has nothing else he needs to consider.
Yeah, and that was the big difference. But you want to give him credit. Like, the challenge in the Super Bowl is going to be, is Philadelphia capable of getting Kansas City to declare what they're doing very easily before the snap? If they can do that by running the football and forcing them to get an extra body down there, then I think Jalen can have a passing game similar to this past weekend. But if they can't, and Kansas City and Spags can constantly make you to think, is it 2? Is it 1? Is there safety going back there? Is there safety help? What kind of leverage is that man coverage going to be? That's when it gets advantageous for Kansas City's defense.
The name of Spags' game in a lot of ways. The Chiefs have allowed only one wide receiver to have over 100 receiving yards in a game this season. That was Jerry Jeudy, by the way, in the NFL. The Jets took part with Aaron Glenn speaking to the media. Here's what the new Jets head coach had to say about Aaron Rodgers.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your quarterback?
You're going to continue to ask me the same question and get the same answer. We're still in evaluation mode. So for anybody else going to ask that, we'll give you the same answer. So don't waste your time. We're clear.
Well, let's answer that. What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner. A winner. Mental and physical toughness. When you talk about that, you're not going to get me.
Well, let me ask you this. Parcells, I know you guys are close. He always said...
That's Parcells.
Okay.
I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay, so you don't...
That's Parcells. I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
He's pretty good with that New York media. He's
familiar with him.
I love it. Listen, stand up for yourself. All right, Graz, what should we make, though, of Aaron Glenn's comments there?
Laura, I take him at his word. I mean, look, he just got the job. The GM just got the job, and they are evaluating their options. I believe Aaron Rodgers will be one of those options. He's under contract for 2025. If they let go of him, they take a $49 million dead money hit on their salary cap this year. So that's a lot. It's not nearly as much as, for example, the Broncos took when they cut Russell Wilson last year. So it has been done. But, yeah, I think they're going to look at what their options are. If we decide we move on from Aaron Rodgers, what do we do to replace him? And they are having those discussions, I would imagine, as we speak.
Yeah, I question if Rodgers is in a place in his career where he's an asset to a first-year head coach. When you play in the NFL that long, you have a certain way that you want things done. We saw that as an example when he was with Saleh and he had his suggestions on how things will go. For Aaron Glenn, he's a football guy who has touched every piece of professional football. and he truly loves it. He's going to have a culture and a strategy for how he wants this job to go, and I don't think he'll be willing to fail by doing what Aaron Rodgers wants. Now, again, whether they can work together, that is the big question, but for me, I just don't see it as a marriage that lines up the way that Aaron Glenn talked in his conference and his questions to the media.
When we were talking about this yesterday, Dan pointed out he thought the timeline should be like right around the Super Bowl. They don't have a lot of time here for Aaron Rodgers to give him answers and for them to evaluate. So that'll be interesting to follow, too. By the way, from week 12 on, Aaron Rodgers had the second worst total QBR in the league, only ahead of Will Levis. All right, let's go to Jacksonville, where Liam Cohen was introduced as the Jaguars head coach, and then this happened.
Duval.
Oh, no. Dan, you think you can do it better? You want to try?
Duval.
Oh.
Duval.
Oh, that's good. That was good.
That's
all right.
it.
Listen, you know what? We're going to
Not hard, Liam. Come on.
We're going to give Liam a mulligan. You got a mulligan there you get to do, too. So maybe, I don't know. All right. Graz.
Not hard.
Goodness gracious. But any names you're hearing
I would
regarding.
rather not do it.
Yeah, we're not going to make you do it.
Oh, okay.
Sound
Any
like
names
Liam.
you're hearing regarding Cohen's coaching staff additions so far?
Patrick Graham, who's been the defensive coordinator for the Raiders the last few years, is a name to watch as a potential defensive coordinator there in Jacksonville. He did interview last week for the head coach job, and I was told to Liam Cohen on his way out of the facility, so he might have known something was up at that point. Yeah, but he could still end up there as the defensive coordinator. He interviewed for that position. The Jaguars announced today, and then we'll see if Liam is able to bring anyone, friends of his from Tampa Bay. Kevin Carberry is a offensive line coach in Tampa Bay, could be somebody who comes and joins as offensive coordinator, though Liam Cohen will be the play caller in Jacksonville.
You know, if you paid attention to social media yesterday, Dan, a lot of the conversation was around, the Duval thing and things like that. But Liam Cohen is a great offensive mind. What does he bring to that Jags offense?
Yeah, first, I like the Patrick Graham hire if that's the case. Number one, Brian Thomas Jr., can they get him to play the Mike Evans role is a big question. Mike Evans, they build their offense through him. They move him around a little bit, oftentimes in the slot. Can Brian Thomas Jr., who was kind of remarkable this season as a rookie in the midst of a lot of chaos down there, can they use him the same way? Number two, their perimeter screen game, really their screen game in general, was awesome in Tampa Bay last year. As a quarterback, we love screens. One, we take a mental break. Two, we're kind of guaranteed a completion. And more often than not, we're going to get 10, 15, 20 yards. And the second thing is the Rashad White and Bucky Irving combination this year was huge for Tampa Bay. That two-back run game. Can he take it and bring it to Jacksonville where they have Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne?
Yeah.
If he's able to kind of implement those three staples schematically, I think that's the starting point to help Trevor Lawrence rebuild his confidence. Build the offensive line is a big story. That was part of Tampa Bay. But getting Trevor Lawrence to consistently play to where his talent should have him, those three things will go a long way.
It's a good point. The personnel in Jacksonville fits what Cohen wants
Very
to
much
do
so.
really well. I wish we had made.
The Kansas City Chiefs are heading back to the Super Bowl for the third year in a row. After an electrifying 32-29 victory over the Buffalo Bills, they've secured their spot in the biggest game of the season. But this isn't just any Super Bowl matchup. It's a rematch of Super Bowl 57 against the Philadelphia Eagles. You remember that game, right? Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs pulled off a thrilling win, leaving Eagles fans heartbroken. And now, here we are again. Same teams, same high stakes. Will history repeat itself? This time, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are looking for revenge. But can they stop Mahomes and company from lifting another Lombardi trophy? That's the big question. What do you think? Will the Chiefs take home another ring? Drop your prediction in the comments below. And stick around because next, we're breaking down how Mahomes and the Chiefs' defense could be the key to victory. If the Chiefs want to win this Super Bowl rematch, they'll need two things: another masterclass from Patrick Mahomes and a defense that can shut down Jalen Hurts. Kansas City's defense has been dominant all season. In fact, only one wide receiver has managed to rack up over 100 yards against them in a game. That's impressive. But now, they face a high-powered Eagles offense that can strike fast. Can Steve Spagnuolo's defense rise to the occasion once again? One key will be confusing Hurts at the line of scrimmage. Spags is known for dialing up exotic blitzes and disguising coverages, forcing quarterbacks into mistakes. If the Chiefs can disrupt Hurts' rhythm, they'll have a huge advantage. But what do you think? Will the Chiefs' defense be able to slow down the Eagles? Vote in the comments, yes or no. Coming up next, we're talking about a Chiefs superstar who won't be at the Pro Bowl this year, but for the best possible reason. Stay tuned. Travis Kelce was selected for his 10th Pro Bowl, an incredible achievement that cements his legacy as one of the greatest tight ends ever. But guess what? He won't be playing in the game, and Chiefs Kingdom wouldn't have it any other way. Why? Because Kelce and the Chiefs have bigger things to focus on, like bringing home another Super Bowl title. His absence from the Pro Bowl is just another reminder of how locked in this team is on the ultimate prize. Taking Kelce's place in the event will be Jonnu Smith from the Miami Dolphins. But let's be real. Chiefs fans aren't losing any sleep over it. Kelce's impact is needed on the biggest stage, where he's been a game-changer time and time again. Now, what do you think? Will Kelce be the deciding factor in the Super Bowl? Drop your opinion in the comments. Up next, we break down exactly how the Chiefs can beat the Eagles again. Stay tuned. The Chiefs know what it takes to beat the Eagles. They proved it in Super Bowl 57, but can they do it again? This time, Philadelphia will be looking for revenge, and Kansas City needs a rock-solid game plan. First, Patrick Mahomes must stay poised under pressure. The Eagles' defense loves to attack the quarterback, so quick decisions and smart pocket movement will be key. And let's not forget, Mahomes thrives in these moments. Another major factor? The run game. Controlling the clock and keeping Jalen Hurts off the field will be huge. Isaiah Pacheco has been electric all season, and if he can wear down the Eagles' defense, it'll open things up for Mahomes to take over. And of course, Andy Reid is the X factor. He outcoached the Eagles before. Can he do it again with the right mix of creativity and execution? What do you think? What's the biggest key to a Chiefs victory? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's talk about the final countdown to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is just days away, and the excitement is at an all-time high. The Chiefs are locked in, fine-tuning their game plan and making final adjustments before the biggest game of the year. Every practice, every meeting, every rep matters. Mahomes and the offense are sharpening their execution, while Spagnuolo's defense is preparing to shut down Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' attack. The stakes couldn't be higher. For Mahomes, this is another chance to cement his legacy. A third Super Bowl title would put him in rare company, inching him closer to all-time greatness. So, Chiefs Kingdom, do you believe this team is ready to bring home another Lombardi trophy? If you do, type "Go Chiefs" in the comments. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates as we count down to the biggest game of the year.